Let's look at types of random samples. Again, suppose we wanted to know the percentage of adults 21 and over in Colorado who've used marijuana in the last 30 days. Let's look at some ways we can collect simple random samples. We could subdivide the population into homogeneous groups. Homogeneous groups means everybody in the group shares a certain characteristic. Like we might separate into different age groups. Maybe you've got 18, you've got 21 to 30, and 31 to 40, and 41 to 50, etc. So you're subdividing the population of these groups, each of which shares that characteristic. And then randomly choose people from each group. This is called stratified sampling. Why would we do this? Well, because we want to make sure that no groups are disproportionately represented. For example, when I participate in surveys, usually they'll ask me for my age. The reason they do that is because they want to make sure they have a certain percentage of 20-somethings, a certain percentage of 30-somethings, a certain percentage of 40-somethings. They don't want 20-somethings to be overrepresented in their survey. So just to make sure that 20-somethings are represented in their survey, just in the same way that they're represented, or to the same extent they're represented in the population, they need to count the number of people in the survey who are 20-something and make sure that nobody's disproportionately represented. This is stratified sampling. Now, from a list of Colorado adults, we could select every 100th adult or every 1,000th adult. This is systematic sampling, and to be honest, they're probably not going to do that. We could subdivide the population into heterogeneous groups and then randomly choose individuals from each group. The heterogeneous groups, they're not like the homogeneous groups we saw before. Not everybody in the group shares a particular characteristic. Instead, each of these groups is going to be a good cross-section of the population. This is what we call cluster sampling. For example, you could select all the Colorado adults who have social security numbers ending in 568 and survey all of them. That would be a cluster sample. Stratified sampling and cluster sampling are both examples of multistage sampling. We divide the population into groups and then choose from the groups.